Welcome back to the Poor Man's Dirty Garage. That's what I'm thinking about changing the channel name to. Just kidding, but I should. Anyway, welcome back to the channel. Today we have another project coming in the shop that hopefully, cross our fingers, we're going to get running and driving in today's video. Now, with that being said, I haven't done it yet. This is the beginning of the film, so I don't know if it's going to work, so stick around and find out. But for those of you who don't know, I like to buy unfinished projects. I don't know. I've just always done it. Somebody can put a bunch of money in a project and then they lose interest and then I scoop it up for cheap. Kind of a tightwad that way, you know, but it's a win-win for everybody. They get rid of it, I get a new one, and I get it for half price. So without further ado, today's video is a 1935 Oldsmobile two-door coupe convertible. Does that make sense? It'll make sense when you see it. It'll make sense when you see it. Let's go look at it. Oh yeah, look at that beaut. It's what I like to call good from far, but far from good. I don't even know where to start at it. I don't even know where to start. We'll just start right here, I guess. So, full disclosure, then it is titled as a 1935 Oldsmobile, and the shell, the body, is a 1935, along with the running boards, fenders. They're 1935 Oldsmobile, but the rest, we'll get into it. So they did some body hacking. It was upside down in a ravine. I guess the roof wasn't savable, so they just whacked it off. And I guess the original idea was they were going to whack it off and try to find another one, but I guess 1935 Oldsmobiles are not that easy to come by, so they just decided to make a little roadster out of it. And that's what I'm going to do. So starting back here, this thing is never going to be a show car. It's got rough cuts in the back where they spliced in pieces, and I'm probably going to leave it. It's functional, so we'll leave it. Huge whiskey dent in the back fender. Once again, I might make that a little bit better, but the bumper, it looks to me to be like a 1950 Chevy bumper. I don't know, what do you guys think? I feel like it's a Chevy's bumper. 1950 Chevy truck bumper, but I could be wrong. Like I said, the tub, fender, original. The steps are original. Looks like they capped it. Fender is, I believe, original. Door, this is where things get confusing. The body lines have two on the Oldsmobile. The door has one, which makes me believe that this is a 1935, give or take a year-ish door. It doesn't really line up all that great. It's tight here, it's loose there. Here's what it is. Handle is just mocked up there. And like I said, full disclosure, this is a project in the making. It is just a mock-up car. It's nowhere near ready to be roadworthy. Moving right along, you got the door. The handle works on the inside. They've done some homemade seating. We'll get to the interior in a minute, but yeah, they cobbled together a latch. You really got to give her the beans to close. That moves us to the hood. I'd like to open the hood and show you the engine, but I can't because it's all bolted down tight because it's just mocked up here. But this hood is definitely not original. It's got two pieces of metal. This is the hood, this is the body, and this is a piece of metal underlaying. So it looks like they were gonna try to piece it together and make it fit, but it's not done yet, so I don't know. But let me know what you guys think. I believe this is a mid-30s Dodge truck hood. From what pictures I've found, that's what I think it is. Not 100% sure on the headlight. It does match the other one, although this one's reddish orange pink kinda, and this one's not. So I don't know if that's original, or maybe neither one of them are original. I don't know. Let's not forget the old Pontiac grill. This is a 1935 Pontiac grill. Very distinctive. I like that grill. It's a high dollar, actually it's an expensive grill if a guy needed one, but I don't know if we could take that badge off because it's kind of weird rocking a Pontiac badge on an Oldsmobile car. I'll have to look into that. Again, onto this side, running into the same thing. It's the stock 35 frame, hood bolted down, can't get into it. I believe, yep, fenders and running boards are the same. I forgot to look at this bumper. I believe this bumper is probably, I don't know. It's got an old dip in it, but I don't think it's 35 Pontiac. I mean 35 Oldsmobile. See? It's got me saying Pontiac because I'm reading the grill. It's an Oldsmobile. I'm not sure on the bumper. They curled in both sides, so they were trying to do something. Move along to this side. Just kind of mocked up there. Nothing really works. You can see where they chopped the windshield down on both sides and in the center to make this, and they busted the glass. That's a shame that both sides of the glass is busted, but I don't know. I'll probably just rock it, to be honest with you. Gives it that character, that patina character. So yeah, moving right along. This door works a little bit better than the other one. You can see the frame down there and where they just kind of mocked everything up. Still got to give her the beans. Needs braced up a little bit, but I mean, all in all, not too bad. Has new exhaust, or new-ish. I mean, it's not super new, but it's definitely newer. No locking mechanism on the trunk. Homemade seats. There's the original, or what I'm assuming is the original gauge cluster, but it's been hacked off, so we'll never get that working again. Fuel tank, they said, was new. It's a 1966 Mustang tank is what they found to fit under there, so it's good that it's new. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this back half of the tub is still 35 Oldsmobile, but I could be wrong. The way I'm seeing it kind of spliced in, it kind of makes me wonder if it's the original. But moving along to the interior, these are just all homemade cushions, which is cool. All of it is. They're just kind of in here. They're not in here great, but they're in here. I think this is the original. I think this is the original 1935 steering wheel. You guys let me know what you think. I think it is. The mirror, I'm not sure if it is. I don't know. But they have two gauges in here. One's oil pressure and one's temperature. But as you can see, they're not hooked up. They're just literally sitting in this little sheet metal thing. They got holes in the dash where they were gonna put something, maybe they were gonna put the gauges over there. Cool looking original radio. I doubt we're gonna get that to work. Things are a little goofy in here. So yeah, this is metal floor. So they did the under the floor brakes, so it's got good brakes, so that's a bonus. They hooked up the throttle pedal, but this is the shifter. So yeah, it's kind of, I don't know. Oh wait, oh no, these are headlights and stuff. They were trying to wire them up, but they don't go anywhere. There is a couple wires in here, but I bought a different wiring kit. I just bought like a Amazon UTV classic car wiring kit, and that's what I'm just going to rewire everything. And then the engine, I haven't got into it yet, but I don't know if it's a little 305 or a 350, something like that. We'll just rewire it and be done with it. But yeah, I don't know what we'll put in here. Looks like they're mocking it up to put that original one back in, but it might look cool to have the original one in, but I don't know that I want it in there if it doesn't work. So we'll figure that out when we get there. I think what we need to do, looks like it's got a nice aluminum radiator. I'm excited to see what's under the hood. So I think what we need to do is we need to push it in the garage. My son's almost home from school. We need to push it in the garage and start unbolting that hood. And let's see what the engine looks like. I hope it's as good as I think it is. The guy said it come out of like a 1980s Pontiac. I don't remember, but it was like a Chevy Caprice. They showed me the picture of it. I don't know what the Pontiac version is of that. I don't even remember, but mid-80s Caprice engine is what's in there. So I think it's a 305, but I could be wrong. But like I said, I'm gonna My son's gonna get home from school here any minute now. We are gonna push that sucker in the garage, start working on it. It's gonna be running and driving today, right? Right? We're thinking positive today? All right, I heard you. It's gonna be running. And I heard the comments, I read some of them comments. You guys are mean as heck, man, let me tell you. You guys bust my chops. Less yapping, more working. Guess what? I'm gonna talk extra today, for sure. No, I'm not, I'm sorry. Sorry, keep watching. Get to work right now. Steer it to the left a little. Just a little. All right, go back straight. All right, hit the brake. Woo! All right, put it in park. Woo! All right, so I don't think I said it. I think I was talking about the years, but just to recap, 1935 Chevy door is what I was saying. And I want to say this is mid-30s Dodge pickup truck, but like I said, let me know. I really don't know. I was just doing Google searches of old cars and kind of zooming in and looking. I'm not sure. The bumpers kind of got me tricked a little bit. The Pontiac grill is probably my favorite thing about this car. But yeah, I don't know where to even start because they use these bolts. So I'm gonna have to stick my hand up and I guess take the backside off. There is one, looks like a 1/2-inch bolt right there. So we're gonna start dismantling the hood. Okay. Huh. This ain't gonna be as easy as I thought. I think there's a panel on the inside here that we gotta take off. I think I gotta take that panel off. Okay, they went above and beyond to put this hood on, so let me show you. So you got this bolt here. All these bolts were hard to get to for sure. I haven't taken just but the one out, which is right here. But this one and this one are the big ones we need to get out because I think I can stick my arm up there and get that out. But let me show you. So, it's hard to see, but they got nuts on them. There's a nut back there, and then up here, I don't know if you can see it, my lighting sucks. There's a bolt with a nut on the side. Anyway, you're not gonna be able to see it, so I'm gonna go ahead, take those two bolts out. All right, we're making progress. So we got these two bolts out, and then I pulled it up over this one, and there's sheet metal screws in all these things. So I'll show you. It's just complete. I don't know even how they got them on there. So you got to reach up under and undo 1, 2, 3, 4 bolts plus 1, 2 sheet metal screws there. Then you got 2 bolts. That one's way up underneath the dash, this one right here. And that one's way underneath like your foot, where your foot is. So let me go ahead. I'm gonna take off all them bolts real quick. Otherwise, if I put a camera up, you're just gonna see my butt crack hanging out because you gotta put yourself in a weird position to get them out. So I'm gonna take them out. We'll remove the hood and I don't know. We might have to get a different hood. I'm not even sure because this hood, it doesn't bend here. So there's like, should have been a hinge here, I think. I don't know. Let's get it off and let's get the engine running and then we can figure out if we can make that hood work or maybe we got to get a different one. I don't know. But let's get the hood off. Okay, we got her off and it's definitely a Chevy small block. Looks like a little 305 to me. The gas line is not hooked up to the tank, but when they pulled that out, it's still got something in this bowl, I think, or that's gummed up. I can't tell if that's liquid or not, but whatever it is nasty. So we ain't gonna try to start it on that. Another little Chinese radiator. I keep getting those. So, yeah, it's pretty late at night, but I wanted to at least get the hood off. The hood is just sitting there. I got it off on both sides. I'm gonna have my son come help me take it off, and we'll set it off to the side. But I don't know, that was a weird mock-up. The guys were super cool, so I'm not trying to make fun of them if they're watching it. I don't know what was going on in your head, and you guys had the idea, so whatever. But for me, that was a lot of work to get that thing off. You guys, there was like 3-inch bolts holding that hood on. So anyway, hood's off, and we are gonna start wiring this in the morning. It looks like they tried to use some of the old wiring harness for this engine, but I think we'll just start over. I think if we start over, a lot of those were gone to the headlights. I can tell, so because they're going to the headlight switch. So we're gonna rip all that out. We're gonna start over, and we'll be in the garage tomorrow. So yeah, didn't get a lot filmed today. This took a couple hours actually to get this stupid hood off. I like the hood and I'd like to use it. I just don't know how we're gonna save it yet. Like I said, it's just sitting up here, so we'll refab some stuff. We'll get it going. But all right, until tomorrow. Don't worry, I'm not gonna leave it like this. I just wanted to show you. So I believe these are supposed to be hinged. Oh, they are hinged, I think. So I got to figure out how this bolts to this side, because they got those bolts in them. But I believe these are supposed to be on a hinge, so they hinge. So, all right, I'm just rambling on. But I'll move that off that front grill, because believe it or not, that grill is probably $1,000. But yeah, this is it. Like I said, it's the motor's sitting there, and they started wiring it up, and it looks like they got the linkage hooked up. I don't know. Remember when I told you I like buying projects? I might have misspoken on that one. I mean, they just use sheet metal screws to hold that in. So I mean, that's not even really bolted on. That's your gear shifter on the inside. So when I say this is just fabbed up and mocked up, I meant it. This dude is mocked up, so we'll get her going. All right, I'm going to shower, eat some supper, and we'll see you guys in the morning. All right, guys, we are back in the garage. It's been a couple of days. I'm not even going to fib to you. I'm an electrician by trade, so anytime there's wiring involved for my own personal stuff, I always drag my feet. I don't know what my problem is, but I don't know. Anyway, and doing this kind of stuff hurts my brain because I always try to do it cheap on these projects, so I'm using what I have laying around. So if you're watching this and you're a customer of mine, I'll use new stuff on your house. So, but with that being said, let me show you what we're working with. So we got all the turn signal, headlight, tail light, all that stuff. We got that all laid out. Just got to wire it in. We got new wiring, but old wiring to the engine. Everything is wired up on this side. Haven't tested it. I need to put a fuse breaker panel in. That's the only thing I don't have. I do have some inline fuses in there, temporary, but I want to get like some sort of little breaker panel for fuses. So with that being said, I got this side wired in. I see a bunch of problems. It leaks like a stuck pig, let me tell you, down there. Yeah, she's a leaker. So got my brand new 57 Chevy chrome right in the oil. What are you gonna do? Anyway, so what we're doing is we're wiring up this side, and you can see the wires coming through there, and I got to get a grommet for underneath, you know, for where it breaks through the firewall. I just don't have one yet. I'll get a piece of rubber hose and I'll just wrap it around there, slice it. But I'm going to use this 4-way key switch. I've used it on several old classic cars, and they're fairly cut and dry. It's got the wiring diagram on the back. It literally just takes 4 wires. You got starter, your accessory, your ignition, and your battery. Of course, on this car, you got more than that goes to it. You got to tie in your distributor, your, I don't know, all kind of things. I'm sitting here looking at it. I got to do a jumper for the starter that goes down to the starting solenoid. So we got all that. So I've tore apart a little bit of the interior. I haven't messed with those gauges yet. They're still not hooked up. They've started to run some of the lines, but they're not actually hooked up to the engine, I don't believe. because they don't work, so something's not right. And you could see wires on the back side of them. I don't know if you can see that in the camera or not, but essentially the power source is not there. They did start wiring up the headlights, but I don't know. They didn't label anything, and no offense to them if they're watching. Kudos to you for getting it that far. I'm going to redo it just so I know it's done. I bought that standalone wiring kit for, it's like an old hot rod. I think they're advertised as vintage cars or UTVs, like side by side. So I'm just going to use that. I come up with my diagram on, on all the things I'm going to wire in there. So that's just what I've been doing. I didn't film a lot of it because wiring's boring. I don't know. It is to me because I do it every day, I guess. So it's super boring, but I shouldn't even have said I'm an electrician, because now everybody's going to be like, that looks like garbage. We're not done. We're just testing to make sure the engine runs. I don't want to go full on ham and wire everything in and make it look all pretty and then find out it doesn't work. So I got everything labeled with my little labels and got it ran, and it's all going to get wire loomed and all that stuff. So, anywho. That's what we're doing. We're working on the wiring, and I got the hood off, as you guys seen, and it's sitting over there. That's going to be a fun little deal to get it working properly, because they got it bolted to where the hinges don't hinge. So they got bolts and washers and everything else, but we'll get into that here in a little bit. But I'm going to finish wiring it, and we will come back in before I get a battery. Oh, that reminds me, I got to go to Wally World and get a battery. I guess I could go to O'Reilly's. Depends on who's got one cheaper. I think Walmart's got it cheaper. I shouldn't advertise that, but because people will be like, you can't use Walmart batteries. I need to stop reading the comments. I can see somebody typing right now, whatever the timestamp is. Shut up and get back to work. That's what you guys kept telling me last time. All right, I'm listening. So let's get back to wiring, and then we'll chime back in before we even try to turn it over. Like I said, I found a few flaws with the engine already that I don't really like. Like, for one, I don't know if I said it, but there's no overfill here, so there's no antifreeze in it anyway. But if there was, and you were driving on the road and it had a little bubble, it got a little warm or anything, it would just vent right onto the engine. So, I mean, I don't know. I got to figure out something. There's not a lot of room there, so I don't know what I'm going to do, because I don't want it out here. So I guess I could put it up in front, but then it'll block flow from the radiator. So I'm guessing that's why they didn't do anything with it yet either. So I don't know. I could do it down low. I could just run the hose down the side and then do one real low, like a pop bottle or something, just so it has one. So we'll see. We'll get there. It ain't even running yet. So, but yeah, as you can see, we got all the things labeled into the distributor, up to the electronic choke, down to the starter. I mean, we got her figured out. We're using some of the old wires that they already had with the engine, where they clipped it off, and they had some of these wires ran through, and I'm trying to reuse some of them, but they were just plumbed through there, so we're actually making sure they're connected to the right spot. So let's finish this up. We'll get a key and a battery, and we'll see if we can turn her over. We're not going to put gas to it yet. I'm actually going to disconnect the fuel line just to make sure whatever is in that float bowl, the filter, it doesn't get sucked up in there, because I can smell tarnish in here. So we'll see what's going on with it. So we'll see. We'll be right back in 30 seconds for you guys. It'll probably be all day for me. So we'll be back. Alright, so we're still plugging away. Had to get a hoodie on because it's gotten a little chilly in the garage. But so yeah, we got the standalone wiring harness pretty well done. I didn't try the engine yet because I still don't have a battery, but I'm hopeful that it'll bump over But I got all the turn signals and horn and all that stuff. I got it powered off my little Milwaukee battery, but you know, we got it just rigged up, and I still got to install it into its final place. But you got right blinker, and then you got, I don't know if I can do it one-handed. You got left blinker, and then got horn. So, yeah, I mean, the little Milwaukee battery saved me. So at least it was good for a test. The wiring diagram on these Chinese deals, they had for the turn signals, they had the colors of yellow, orange, and green. And on the actual switch, it's blue, black, and orange. So they had 1 out of 3 ain't bad. So I don't know. That's what took me a minute, because every time they go through one of these little connections, the wires change color. So it just, as you can see, it just sucks, because every time they butt them together, the wire changes. Like here's red, it goes to orange. So I probably shouldn't have used it, but I'm too far into it now. I am trying to utilize, let me set this down so you can see a little better, but I'm trying to utilize these holes. Like there's random holes in the dash, like this one, and even there's one up here. I don't know what I'd put up here, but there's a big one right here, and it's loose, but I got the key kind of set up here. I don't know, it kind of looks trashy, but I just don't want to keep drilling holes into this dash. And I thought about putting some stuff into that, but I got to redo that whole thing anyway. Well, the light just went dead. So I think I'm gonna put the key switch here, the horn here, and the blinker toggle here. And yes, I am going with a toggle switch blinker system. And the only reason is with this steering column, it's like an old hot rod steering column. I don't know if it's original or not, but I don't really want, it's kind of tight getting in and out with the big steering wheel, and I don't want to get rid of the big steering wheel. So I don't want the big lever on the side. If you look them up on eBay or Amazon, they just look weird. I don't know. They're chrome. And yeah, I know these lights are teeny, but I'm not really worried about getting run off the road. I tested the brake lights. It's got brake lights now. It's got headlights now. So I got to align them, because one of them's looking pretty much up at the sky and one of them's looking at the ground. So we'll get there. I'm going to get there tonight still. We're going to have all the wiring done tonight. So I want to drive this thing tomorrow for sure. So yeah, I did the turn signal on a blinker switch. I did the key switch. It's just a generic hardware store 4-way, you know, with the weird, just little padlock type key. I'm not really worried about somebody stealing it. It'll stay in a garage or, you know, in a locked facility. It's not a big deal. So, and then I'm going to put the horn button, I'm going to put it right here. So, I don't know. We'll see what happens, but we're going to finish up the wiring here in a little bit. I didn't film a lot of it because it's just boring. It's plug and play stuff. I mean, I can do a once over once I get it together. I can just give a once over of how I wired it up, but the physical act of wiring is boring. So I'm trying to make this video shorter because I know some people didn't like the hour-long video. So I'm trying to cut out some of the stuff. I'm learning here, guys. I'm learning. So let me get the wiring done here. When you guys get back, it'll all be done. And then I will do a once-over of how it's wired up. And, I mean, as far as the key switch, it's pretty simple. I got one to the battery, one to the distributor, and one to, let's see, battery, starter, and distributor. That's where the 3 go. And then I got auxiliary. I got other things like your choke, your, I don't know, just different things. You know what I mean? So all the lights are going to be on the accessory. So it's just kind of a lot. And I don't have a breaker panel yet, so I'm using inline fuses. You can bag on me if you want, but this is a low budget deal. I want to cruise this thing around, and I don't really want to spend a lot of money doing it. So, all right, I'm going to go eat some supper real quick. We're going to come back out. We're going to pound this thing out tonight. We're going to get it done. I don't know if I'm telling you or myself. I'm getting tired, and it's boring. So here we go. All right, I finished up the wiring inside. I'm not sure I'm happy with the placement, all the switches and buttons, but I'm going to show you. So the speedometer, I went with a GPS speedometer, and obviously the hole's too big because they cut it out for the original one. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do there. I kind of like the idea that they had about keeping the original gauge cluster, so I'm not sure where I'm going to put the speedometer that I have for the GPS speedometer. So I'm kind of pausing on that, and I'm letting my brain think. But if you guys remember, there was a hole here, there was a hole here, and a hole here. Well, I put the horn here, the key switch here, and this is the turn signal. Now it's kind of janky because you're sitting here, and usually a turn signal's on the left side, on the driver's side. But I don't know, it's a hot rod, and I didn't want to drill any more holes than I have to in this dash. So, but it is all wired up. I tested it. They all work. I don't know about the ignition yet. I have not tried that yet, but like I said, I'm not sure what I'm going to do with the speedometer yet. We'll have to see. Part of me thinks I'm just going to put like a piece of sheet metal in that hole for right now, and then put this in the sheet metal, because I think I'm going to have to build a whole new dash, and honestly, that's for like a whole different video. I wired in the oil pressure and the thermostat gauge, the temperature gauge. I wired in both of them. I got the GPS speedometer pretty well wired in. All I got to do is just set it into place. I got the wires there. The headlights, taillights work, turn signals work, horn works. Yeah, brake lights work. I think I said that. But anyway, pretty much everything is in working order. So I think now we need to transfer our energy to the engine. So that's where we're going to start right now. All right, so we're back at it. I had to move the 35 over on the other side of the garage because one of my rental properties, I had to move all this crap out of the garage of that. So fun. But it's been doing a lot of rain in here in southern Utah all of a sudden, so I put the 57 inside because it leaks, and I don't want it to start molding up. So we're still collecting parts on that, by the way. Should have a video coming out soon. You can see all the parts kind of laying up there. So it's just having a hard time getting the parts from like realsteel.com and all that stuff, or Real Deal Steel, whatever it is, and Eckler's. So we do have parts on the way, but nothing really yet. So and I'm still looking for a bumper. So if you guys have a bumper for a 57 Chevy, I'm your guy. Anyway, back to the wiring on this. Still haven't messed with the motor. But I got this tubing stuff I'm going to put in here. But essentially, the wiring that we got, we labeled everything like this goes to, I can't even read my own writing. This is positive to the battery. Heck, I can't even read it. Oh, distributor. What in the world? Oh, starter. I can't even read my own writing. So I'm going to take those tags off for now. We're going to put this stuff in so it doesn't rub on the firewall. And we're going to start trying to turn it over. I do have the battery out of the Beetle that we're going to use for the time being. Not a huge fan of the placement that I put this GPS sensor, but I was reading up on it. It has to be exposed, and I didn't know where else to put it. So there was already a hole there, so I put it there. And then I just ran the cable all the way across that firewall strut and then through the firewall. We still haven't mounted the speedometer, so we're going to do that today too. The goal is to have this baby running and driving today. So, because we do have a special trip that we're taking on this. It's roughly 200 miles, and I'm hoping I'm hoping that it makes it. So here we go. Let's put this wire loom on there and go from there. All right, so the idea is we loop this stuff around and then it can kind of come out as needed. I don't have any rubber grommets to use, and I have this stuff, so we might as well put it to good use, right? Okay. Yeah, see, that's gonna work. And then I'll see if I can't go on the inside and pull it through. Let me see if I can do that. Well, you can't see nothing under here. Hang on. Okay. All right. So now that we got that through a little bit anyway, we'll go find some tape and we'll tape that up, and we'll do a better job of holding this wire up. Okay. So that side's taped up on the back. We just got to finesse all this stuff around. We'll put a piece of tape on the front of this, and we'll just go around, and then it'll look a little bit better anyway. All right, so you can see that looks a little bit better, a little cleaner anyway. So now we're gonna start tackling the fuel. I know when I looked under there when I was doing the wiring, the fuel lines are all hooked up. There's no gas in the tank, but there is something in the filter. So we're gonna replace that filter and get that nastiness out of there. Now, I am kind of assuming that this engine ran. They said they got it out of a Pontiac. So I would imagine they already made sure it was running. Oh boy, you can smell the bad gas in there. That might be a problem. That might be a problem. But I assumed that it was a running car. Why would you pull a engine and take the time to mount it and all that stuff in an engine that you didn't know ran? So I'm assuming it ran. I know it didn't run when I got it because it wasn't even wired. So let's deal with the gas issue. Let's put a battery in it and let's turn it over and see if it, I don't know, see what it does, I guess. All right. Yeah, it just smells like bad gas. Whew. Might need to replace this little gas line as well. Yeah, I'm probably gonna have to. It's about to pop off and I don't want it to hit me in the mouth like it just did. That's nasty. Okay. Okay, draining all this nasty gas out. Boy, this filter's bad. But I guess that it has gas in it means that it was probably a running car, right? And that's what we're assuming. Okay. Got that propped up there. And I don't know if you guys can see this, but it's got some sort of gel or funk in there. See the little piece flopping around in there? Yeah. So now we'll get rid of this. Yep, that's that one for sure. Yeah, I was gonna replace fuel lines, but I decided against it. Chuck that bad boy in the garbage. I don't know if we should just fire it up, like put gas in the tank and actually try to fire it up, or should I check for spark and all that? I mean, what fun is that? My problem is I get to this point and I get excited and I want to just drive it. So I think we're gonna put gas. We're gonna put gas in it and see if she'll crank over, if she'll at least pop. Okay. Gas and a battery coming up. Show you how long it's been since I've used the gas can. Use my trusty key. And okay. Yeah. Don't steal my stuff. Not gonna go crazy with the gas in case it leaks. I don't want to make a mess. Alright, so I stole the battery out of the Beetle. I think we're gonna try to fire it up. I'm a little bit nervous just because of the gas I spilled down here, but I think it's gonna fire right up. I'll get a fire extinguisher just in case. Okay, I don't see no smoke and I don't hear anything buzzing. Got good oil. I've already checked that. Don't care about antifreeze yet. All right. Let's see if it at least turns over. Okay, no buzzing or nothing. Oh, it's pumping fuel. There's already fuel in here, so we got a good fuel pump. Okay. Okay. Let me get my other fuel bottle. Okay, just a little squirtsy. Nothing. We're not even getting a little bit of a pop. Let me check something. Okay. Yeah, I didn't plug in the distributor. Okay. Let me do a once over. Got the distributor plugged in. All the wires are on. Okay. Come on. Don't make me look like a fool to the interwebs. Come on, baby. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Hell yeah. Yes. Okay. Fuel bowl. Go over to the other side. She's loud. She sounds good. All right, I'm gonna shut it off. Maybe. Let's check the horn. Yes. Okay, so it fired right up. So we have a running engine. I don't know if she'll move under its own power, but I'm assuming it come out of a running driving car. Let's check all our fluids. Let's put a down tube on there. And then let's tighten everything up and clean all the crap off. All right, so we're back on the wiring. I'm getting kind of tired of wiring. That's why I keep bouncing back and forth off it. But the only thing we have left to do is wire up the speedometer. So I got out some sheet metal, just some scrap stuff I had laying around. I believe it's 20 gauge because that's usually what I use. This is the template, so I mean I'm just gonna drill out a hole and then we will trim around it because the speedometer that I got is smaller than the hole. And I don't want to build a whole new dash yet because I honestly don't know what I'm going to do with the dash. So I really feel like this is going to be easier just for temporary, just to get it in because I want to get this thing on the road. I just want to drive it. Such a cool car. I don't know, getting excited, I guess. But anyway, let's drill this out real quick and we'll go from there. Okay. And this is a 3.5-inch bit, just so you know. Let's see, where'd I mark it? I can't even see. This garage is so cluttered now. There it is. You know, and if at all possible, do that where all your metal shavings go right over exposed carburetor. So, yes. Okay, I guess it wasn't exposed. I was just kidding. I thought it was, though. Because I'd have never done that. I'm a professional, people. Come on. Professional. I don't know what kind of show you think I'm hosting here, but ain't amateur hour. All right. You guys are getting me sidetracked, dang it. So, all right. We will clean this up just a skosh, trim that out. And let's see. First of all, let's see if it'll fit. And if it doesn't, just throw it on the ground. If it doesn't work, just throw it on the ground. And by the way, if this doesn't fit, you'll never know because I'm going to edit it out. Boom. So, good thing about buying parts on Amazon is because if you drop it on the ground and it doesn't work, you can ship it back and say that it didn't work. I would never do that. Never, ever do that. Okay, I think I'm getting delirious. It's maybe the fumes are getting to me now. I need to open the garage door because it's taking a turn, folks. All right, so we got that. Let's trim her out and let's measure real quick and see what we're dealing with. I think if I remember right, this hole was 5.5. Yeah, 5.5 inches. So if I just do a 6-inch block, yeah, because we don't have very much room because of the lower. I think you guys didn't see any of that because I'm sitting here not focusing on the camera, I'm focusing on the thing, and I'm sitting here showing this, but isn't that neat? Anyway, I think this is 5.5 inches, so I think if I go 6-inch square, we should be good. All right, so I just went 1.25 inches on each side of the hole. That should give me enough. And then I don't know where my straight edge is because this garage is just a freaking disaster. So we'll just do this way. It will go like so. Ain't got to be perfect. It's just got to be good enough, you know. Okay, so like I said, we're not building a watch here. So I will cut this out so you guys ain't got to see it. But I'm just going to trim it out into a square. Okay, like I said, not perfect. Let's see if she fits in there. Okay, it's a little bit off. But I mean, it's fine. It's not 100% square, but it doesn't really matter because I'm going to redo it all anyway. So I just don't know how I want the layout, and I'm not sure the temperature gauge even works. So I'm going to wire all that up real quick, and we shall go from there. Literally, it's just 2 wires, a hot and a ground. Or no, 3 wires, 2 hots and a ground because of the backlight, which you're going to want. So I'll just go tap into that real quick, and then I'll come back and show you. Just because it's boring, you're not going to want to see it. Trust me, not going to want to see it. Can you tell I'm getting tired of working on this car? I need to probably just give it up for the day and quit. But, you know, here we are. The other thing is, the big problem I want you guys to stop and think about right now is how I'm going to mount that hood. That hood, we ended up getting it to fold and collapse, but it's missing like all the actual old Dodge truck mounting hardware. So I got to create my own. I got a couple ideas, but I want you guys to stop and think, how would you do it? I mean, as of right now, it just sets up there, and then they had it bolted in. I'm not going to bolt it in because what if your battery's dead or you want to check the oil or whatever? You got to bring a dang wrench to check the oil. That's dumb. Well, no, I think you could check the oil with the hood on, but because there's that hole at the bottom. But you get the idea. You need to be able to open and access the hood whenever you need to. So help me ponder how we're going to do that, because that's the big holdup of this whole video, I think, because that's what I'm trying to think how I'm going to do it, because you got a 35 Oldsmobile, a 35 Pontiac grill, then you got, and not just the grill, it's the whole radiator shroud is 35 Pontiac. Then you got a, I don't even know, mid-30s, let's call it a 35 for easy math, Dodge pickup truck hood. So you add all those things in, and it's just a cluster, if you know what I'm saying. So, and I got no mounting hardware for the hood. So, let's hurry up and slap this in. I'll set the hood up there again. I'll show you what I'm thinking. And then in the comments, you guys can tell me what an idiot I am, like you have been in the previous videos. Oh my goodness, I called that a Bel Air. It's going to be a Bel Air. You watch. You wait and see. It's going to be a Bel Air. Not a 210. It's going to be a Bel Air. And on the the 59 Biscayne that's out front that you guys just watched, that was my last video. I put it in the title of 59 Impala. You guys are eating me up over that too. All Biscaynes are Impalas to me. I don't know. It's I even said, I was like, the very opening line was, hey, this is my, I don't even remember how I opened it, but I said, a 1959 Biscayne. And I'm still getting tore up. I know the difference between a Biscayne and an Impala. It's a lower trim and blah, 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 blah. It's an Impala. I'm getting sidetracked and delirious now. So, all right. Let's bolt this in. I'm going to use the self-tappers just like they had. And let's mount in the speedometer that's probably broke that I just threw across the garage floor. And then we'll look at the hood. All right. Wiring is done. I don't know if you can see the lights come on, but it won't register because we're indoors, but done with the wiring. And on a positive note, the sun came back up. It's been raining all morning, so kudos to that, I guess. Okay, I got the hood on there, and let me tell you, I pinched my finger, cut this one, cut this one, cut this one. I'm pretty upset about it. This stupid hood, how about threw it to the garbage, because every time you turn around it folds and collapses, and I'm a big old baby, and I don't want to hear no stuff in the comments about it. So, here we go. It doesn't look bad, like from up here. Dang, stupid garage. Alright, so you see how this filler panel just kind of fills in the gap? So, I got two options. I can leave the filler panel there and just say the heck with it. Or I could just trim it and weld it here onto the hood, but then I would have to make like a slice and dice up there so that it could separate, because each panel folds up. And then on this side, it's way off on both sides. And what they had was a piece of sheet metal once again, kind of wrapped around, but it didn't even go all the way down. So, and I could weld to here, but it just doesn't line up, and there's too many folding flaps. So I just think that on this side, I'm gonna weld a piece of sheet metal from here, maybe 4 or 5 inches out, you know, put it in here, and, you know, leave this kind of all flapped up. It's janky, but I don't know what else to do with it. You're gonna have those gaps. Now, granted, I can bend this a little bit to make it look a little bit nicer, but I mean, you're never gonna have it straight. So I don't think I want to weld it to the hood on this side, which kind of, I guess, do I weld this piece to the hood, or do I weld this piece to the body? It almost would, the more I think of it, it would probably be easier just to weld it to the body, because then I don't have to make the flap. I think that's what we'll do. I don't know. That's why I said this hood has been kind of confusing for me. I don't really know exactly what I want to do. Just a reminder, remember they had the bolts here, so this was all one piece, but then you couldn't even open it because of the headlight. So at least now it folds independently, so you can check your oil, and you can always check the oil because right here, but the trans fluid be a little bit harder. It just, nobody wants to work in a space like that. If your battery goes dead, you're screwed. So now, granted, them guys weren't leaving the hood like that. They were just mocking it up. So we are really close. I'm gonna figure out this hood, and then I'm gonna drive it. So what do you guys think? Let me know if I'm doing the right thing. I think I was originally, just about 10 minutes ago, when I first started this, I was gonna weld this to the hood. But now I think I'm gonna leave that alone, and I'm gonna weld this to the body, because we have to weld over here on this side, and we can't weld it to the hood. I don't know. No matter what I do, it's gonna look like an afterthought. So I don't really like that idea. But at this point, it is what it is. So I think, man, I don't know. I honestly don't know what to do. I could just hold off and not do anything yet. Let me think about this a second. All right, so I'm still not sure what I'm gonna do on the front, but what I do know is this piece fits really good up here, and then it goes down, but it doesn't go long enough. So I just mimicked that up here wider, and then I left this just straight, you know, because we could trim down the fat a little bit, because I don't have a template for down there. And yes, I could make one out of paper, I could do all that stuff, but we're not gonna. So I'm gonna cut this, and I'm gonna get it to fit in right there, because I know for a fact I'm gonna extend this, I'm gonna weld that. So let me cut this out, and then we will spot weld that in there, and then if it works, I can use this template and create one for the other side. So I still don't know how I'm gonna attach the hood, because it's just sitting there right now. So I'm not really 100% sure on that. And yeah, I don't know. I half tempted to, originally I wanted to do some of those belt, like 1930 Bugattis type, you know, hood straps for the racing cars with the leather straps, looks like a belt. But then I went on Google and I did a search on them, and they're like $100 per set, or maybe even more than that. I can't even remember. They were nuts on the price of that. And I'm trying to go budget friendly on this, so that's not an option. I don't want to bolt it because that's just a headache if you break down, which I'll probably break down, my luck. Nice hood prop, right? Okay, so that's what I come up with. I'm gonna do that on both sides, but before I weld that, I'm gonna go ahead and take that off and make one for the other side. So at least I got a template. I did have to trim it up a little bit to make it fit, but it ain't bad. See, this is what I'm saying. It's like, do I just take this and weld this up here? I don't know. Honestly, don't know what to do with this hood. I wish I could just find a 35 Oldsmobile hood, but then I'd have to find a 35 Oldsmobile front clip. I don't know. Like I said, I'm not real big into the rat rods. They're okay, some of them, but this has kind of turned into a rat rod, I guess. Trying to make it as much of a hot rod as I can without turning it into a rat rod, but you see where I'm at. We'll see. Alright, so we're just tacking this side on real quick. My son likes to weld, and it keeps him handy around here, so I'm going to let him finish welding that side up. That's just enough to hold it in place, and then I'm going to move on to this side, and we'll start tacking this side in. Alright, so found out another issue. There's a bracket right in there. I don't know if you guys can see the bracket, but it's hitting the metal, so I either got to trim the metal or trim the bracket. There's the bracket I'm talking about. So you can see it's hitting here. So I think I'm just gonna slice it there. Be done with it. Same thing, I'm going to let my son finish up spot welding. He loves that stuff. He's taking a welding class out there at the high school, so might as well give him something to do, some practice work. Still kind of baffled on what to do on this side. I really think that I'm just going to tack weld this up here, or weld it, not tack weld it, but weld it, because I just don't like the way it looks. I wish I had a different hood, but I don't, so it is what it is. I'll bet you I have to trim up the other side. See how I trim that side? I'm gonna have to do the same because of that bracket there. So let's let the hood down and see where I gotta cut it. Alright, so here's my temporary solution because I don't know what to do. I put a little thumb bolt in there, and then I did one of the nut rivets. So just riveted it in there, and then we'll close it down. It doesn't line up yet because I have no way to hinge it yet. So let me straighten it up and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Alright, I put it back in the garage because people kept stopping by wanting to talk about it. But anyway, I put the thumb screw in there, and then I got one on this side. So I mean, it lines up pretty good. I'm gonna go charge my phone a minute just in case I break down. But we're gonna take this thing on its first rip. Wish me luck. Honestly, it's not bad. This thing is awesome. Of course, we're only going what, 15 miles an hour. I'm gonna take it out on the main road. This thing is so rad. What a hoopty. This thing is a pile amongst piles, let me tell you. Stops good. Turns like a dream. Way too loud. That 305 with wide open headers, I don't know. It does it for some people, but not really for me. It doesn't really have a tone. It's like, it's just, I don't know. It's cool, but I think I need some flow masters or something. gears. Heck yeah. I think it's good. Got 30 pounds of oil pressure, which I don't know if that's accurate or not. It's about 150 degree temperature. It's not bad. I think I'm gonna take it out on the main road. Yeah, I think we should. All right, I'll get out of the neighborhood and we'll go for a real proper drive. Heck yeah. Still not satisfied with the hood. I'll have to figure that out. If you guys got any better ideas, let me know. I don't really like the thumb screw idea because it just doesn't make it convenient to work on it. All right, let's go for a ride on the main road. Then we'll come back to the house, see what we think. I don't know, boys. She did a pretty good job on that drive. I smell oil, so we still gotta button up this stuff. It's all cosmetic. And then I'll let it rust, make it look like the rest. But yeah, I smell oil coming from this side over here. So we gotta address that at some point. And I think I got some hubcaps inside that'll fit. Man, we're missing a lug nut. Just ridiculous. All right, it's official. It runs, it drives, and I gotta clean this dang garage. I mean, look, this is a disaster. So I'm gonna put all these parts in the old U-Haul mini mover outside, and we'll go from there. But we're gonna start working on the 57 here next week. Well, actually, there'll probably be one more video on the 35 Oldsmobile. I'm gonna do some interior work, and I wanna finish that hood. That hood really bothers me. I know it sounds stupid, and you guys rag on me in the comments, but it is what it is. I don't know what to do with that hood yet, so I just thumb screwed it. So it is what it is. Let me know in the comments what you guys would think. I don't know. It's just not the right hood for the car, and 35 Oldsmobile hoods are like few and far between. I've never seen one yet, so anyway. Like always, don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe, and look me up on Facebook, Instagram, all them kind of things. So, till next time, adios.